All right, so shall we do a quick wrap up?
I think so.
Yeah, we don't. You didn't watch a movie for me this week because that's okay. These things
It was
happen.
that kind of a week.
It was that kind of a week.
But you
I
know what I
only.
did? You know what
What
I
did you
did,
do?
Theo?
Here,
I
tell me.
finished 3 series that I was watching. 3 different they were one was Thai. 3 different dramas that I was watching. So that was
Right.
my accomplishment. 2 of them were long. One was 50 episodes and one was 52. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Excellent. Is that your wrap up? I don't. I have a
No,
short
I
wrap
can
up.
go more into it, but you seem like you wanted to talk
I
about.
don't. My wrap up is just so short. I watched 2 short films, Michigan Avenue and I-94, which were both Betty Gordon, I think is her name. She's the one who
Oh,
did Variety. I
I think
watched
it would
them.
be Bet, but I could be wrong.
At, anyways, she did. They left at the end of the month, and I watched them. I think right after we did the last podcast. I don't know,
Hmm.
and they were interesting. Small experimental films. I watched The Heiress, which was I quite enjoyed. I don't think you really enjoyed it as much as I did. The
Nope.
acting, I thought the acting was really good. This is like a dramatic. This is like the like Marvel movies again. They have one or two ideas, whatever. They're not necessarily that deep. Depends on the movie. Some are more better than worse, but it's ultimately relatively simple in terms of structure and themes and all that. And The Heiress is really the same thing, except that it's a drama and it's from 1949. And I thought it did that theme really well. I thought it did the idea pretty well. The acting is interesting. I thought Olivia de Havilland was great. I thought Montgomery Clift, it was pretty good, even though he's kind of like somebody from 1949 doing something pretty from 1850s or whatever. But I liked The Heiress. And it was really pretty to watch. So, shrug. I thought it was good. And then I also watched the new Mulan. I would give my left arm a Disney remake that I didn't think was bland and uninteresting. I would like remove a piece of my body to make it so that I could enjoy one of these movies.
You
It's not,
keep watching them anyway. It's like you like getting. You're not even getting punched in the face. You're just getting like a light little pop. Like
I
every time,
want
like
every. These are the
you just
movies that every.
wasted 2 hours. Pop. I don't believe in wasting 2 hours, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, while people are still watching these movies, and even though Mulan didn't actually do that well, as far as people can tell, it's hard because it was mostly streaming. It everybody watches these movies, so I'm curious to see what everybody was watching. Sometimes I watch movies from my childhood that I didn't see because at the time I wasn't seeing what everybody was watching, and now I'm curious. And just the characters weren't very well formed. This isn't a musical, so you don't have the fun musical bits, which is fine. They reuse some of the music. In fact, they reuse one of the songs in the end of the movie, but they don't quite build it up the right way. So it's like it's the mirror song where it's like I
Wah,
don't know my
wah.
reflection, and it's like what? There's only like one shot in the movie that really like clues us into that. It's kind of built a different way. It's actually directed by the woman who did Whale Rider,
Hmm.
um, which I enjoyed, and I think you enjoyed, but you have big
No,
problems with.
I hate Whale Rider,
We
but
hate
it's
Whale Rider,
fine. It's fine. I hate it on a personal level, not like a movie level. Like
right?
it's
And
it's a story I particularly dislike seeing
she's
depicted.
done other movies, so I'm like curious. Like it's that thing where it's like this might as well not be directed by a person. Like these movies feel like they're directed by a committee, and
Yeah.
so at the end of it, I was just so annoyed
Well,
by the end of.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like no
That's what I was
character.
saying with Happiest Season, where it's like I feel like the writing's not good, but I don't want to criticize the writer because you never know
Yeah,
who has say in it. Like,
yeah, it's hard
and
to pick out the
Disney
writer.
definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's hard in those movies to pick out the writer, the director, the cinematographer, maybe. But in this movie, it's like this is made by a committee, and it's like really hard to get behind it because like there's these weird edits. There's the slow mo here. Why are we doing this? Here's a character moment. The most interesting character was the villain played by Gong Li, and I didn't really care about the rest of them that much. Mulan barely gets a character.
It
It's all
sounds
too
like
well lit.
I'm gonna skip Mulan, which I wasn't gonna watch anyway, because I
Yeah.
don't like being slapped by Disney films. So
There was all these weird controversies around it too, which make me I wasn't going to pay the $30 for it at a certain point, and like I didn't have to because eventually it just came to the streaming service, which my girlfriend pays for. And so I just kind of shrug at the whole thing and the whole experience.
freeloader.
Yeah, well, Anyways, that's what I watched. I also watched more of The Amazing Race because it's my vicarious traveling thing, and it's also a game, and it's pretty fun
Yeah.
to watch The Amazing Race. And maybe sometime I'll have thoughts about it that I'll eloquate. But I'm still only on season 7 of seasons 30. There's 30 seasons. I don't know. It's pretty good. I enjoy it.
So yeah, I thought the heiress was boring. I agree that the acting was good. I found Montgomery Clift distracting, but I don't know if that's my issue or him. There were kind of long conversations, and I was just like, but we know where this is going, so why am I watching a 10-minute conversation? I don't know. But it's certainly worth seeing if, Olivia de Havilland and all that kind of stuff. I didn't think the entire thing was boring. I just found parts of it quite boring.
Mm.
Yes, I finished 3 dramas. One of them was, I talked about a little bit last week, was See How Young My Daughter, which is interesting because it so much revolves around these 2 siblings, and she's the main character. And her character was really interesting. Almost made me think of, like, I don't know Taming of the Shrew very well, but my memory of that is like just very focused on this woman and her emotional issues, and it's always interesting when we do that because we don't do that often as a world. But the other interesting, there were just some subversions. No one accidentally got pregnant. No one moved in with anyone. I mean, someone did, but it wasn't the same way it usually works in these things.
Okay.
And there's always this focus on first love, but this one character like dumps the first love for a reason, for a good reason, and just marries this woman because she really likes him. And I kind of like seeing that relationship develop.
Okay.
At the very end, it was still very much a marry and procreate series, but I enjoyed it. It's fine.
We talked about giving passes to things earlier, and I wonder, like, I don't know enough of these. I got to figure it out.
Oh no, I give these things, but it's like, these are just stories. They're all just stories, and art, you can't objectively evaluate art. So,
Right.
Sometimes I just appreciate certain things. Anyway, I
feel like you didn't always used to feel that way about art, about objectively judging art, and I feel like I helped turn you or something.
You did.
I brought you to the dark side.
But conversely, that means that you get to decide. I mean, as societally, we decide what's good and bad, and sometimes we decide that good camera work is more important than depicting women. I mean,
totally. There's bad things.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I finished Father is Strange, which I also quite enjoyed. It's interesting. Sometimes they devolve into just being cute at the end. That one and some of the product placement in that one. Actually, See How Young My Daughter is the one that had Holly's Coffee as the product placement, but everyone was having the most upsetting conversations of their entire lives so you'd see these characters just looking like miserable and unhappy, and like the Holly's Coffee logo right next to them. It's like, find out your wife's secret past at Holly's Coffee. Like, I don't know. It's another one of those like price sheets. Like, did they get a discount because every conversation that took place at their coffee place was upsetting and miserable? Like, enjoy an Americano while you get dumped. So yeah, Father is Strange was just really cute and fun. That's the one. That one had, so in that one, an actor moves in with a family because he thinks that the dad is his dad, but there's a lot more going on. Don't worry about it. But there was a little bit of behind the scenes stuff because the actor is acting in a drama. So you're seeing a drama being filmed in a drama. And I felt like I was really getting some insight when they were showing, like, can we just get this done in one take? Come on, one take, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, so that explains some of what I'm seeing is they just want to get the one take and keep going.
Excellent.
So that was fine. And that's kind of what I watched, but I have an announcement that I haven't even made to you yet, which is I think I'm ready to start writing about K-dramas on our Instagram account.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to this.
I don't know when, like, part of me almost wants to start in January because of like the neatness of like, 2021. But I also kind of feel like I want to start writing. So we'll see. I'm going to write about the ones I like and why. I just started watching this one and like talking about giving things a pass. It's a kimchi restaurant where a gangster like goes to for reasons. There are reasons. Don't worry about it.
Excellent.
But, like, 5-10 minutes of every show is like how this kimchi restaurant changed my life. And, a character will just sit and talk about how the kimchi restaurant changed their life. Just every episode. And you know what? Fine. It's a story. It's very sweet. It's very cute. I like it.
All
I
right.
think that our gangster character is doing a Toshiro Mifune impersonation sometimes, and I like seeing you don't see gangsters as heroes in these shows very often, and
Right.
I'm just enjoying it. And so yeah, like it's like you don't watch cooking shows and complain that they keep showing people cooking things, right? Like,
Right.
you're watching the show about a kimchi restaurant. They're explaining how kimchi changed people's lives. This is why we're here. Like, if you don't like that, leave.
All right.
I'm really enjoying it though. So
I'm
anyway.
glad you're enjoying it so much. I look forward to your write-ups on K-dramas. I think I don't know if I said this on the podcast yet, but I'm like, I would never want to devote the time to this. I don't have the time because luckily I'm still employed, but also I don't, even if I wasn't, I don't think I'd want to devote the time to this. So I'm kind of glad that I'm learning all of this through you, because I kind of trust and I find your opinions good and interesting, and I know kind of where your biases lie. So it's like, it's interesting and I enjoy it, and I'll watch some of these eventually. You have ones for me to watch, but
Yeah, I do really want you. And sometimes, like, I describe it as like I have like two sets of boxes. I talked about my buckets earlier. These are my boxes.
excellent.
These are the things that like I love, and these
Yeah.
are the things I hate.
Right.
And then there's a whole bunch of things that could be wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
If it checks off a ton of things I love and very few things that I hate, I don't care how much in that middle section it checks.
Right.
If it
Yeah.
checks off like a bunch of things I love and a bunch of things I hate, then I'm in trouble. Like,
Right. There you go.
but it is funny how like I just get like certain things just make me really happy and I really enjoy seeing them, and I don't care that I'm getting lessons about life by a kimchi, or that there's a little bit of nationalism involved in here. It's not my nationalism, so you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. And that in
Yeah.
Father is Strange, he talks about how he's never able to get close to his stepfather because they're a different race, and I'm like, oh, that's problematic. But
Oh
it's
dear.
not, it's not my problematic. His stepfather being a white man. So it's just like, it's just sometimes
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's not like I'm unaware. And it's also like you don't get this stuff other places. Like,
No, you don't.
this is where you find these kind of stories. Like, where else
Well,
are you going to find out how life can be changed with really good kimchi? I don't know.
I don't know. I almost want to make kimchi now.
I want to make kimchi. I should send you pictures. I want to set up on my patio so that I can sit out there and eat like they do on these it is a low wooden thing that you then put it to anyway.
Excellent.
But I'm also, I don't know if I already said this, I'm mostly going to talk about ones I liked or that had things I liked strongly in it. I don't feel like talking about ones I don't like, so
Don't do it.
yeah, like
I
didn't
look
finish
forward
this
to
one
it.
because it was mediocre. I mean, who cares?
There you go. We don't know we're watching yet, do we, for next week? Have we talked about it?
No, I mean, I want to watch Palm Springs.
Right,
But
Palm
I
Springs.
picked 2 of last week, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'll pick 2 for this week. I want to watch Ammonite, which is apparently like this year's Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is, I mean, not really, but it's just, I think it's a period piece. It's 2 women, lovers of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's available for like $20. I want to watch The Vast of Night. That's what we're doing this week. Or The Vast.
Okay, we can do that.
I forget I think it's The Vast of Night. I want to watch that because I keep getting advertisements for it, and I hear that it's not the greatest thing, and that's fine. I've already seen some
I have
reviews
to see if that other person who lives here wants to see it too.
Yes, you should.
So that might be a weekender for us.
Yeah, we'll figure out what we're doing, but those are some potentials for anybody listening. I also want to. We haven't watched the Godzilla movie in a few weeks, so I'll probably watch one of those. And then there's also Sinbad and some other stuff on Criterion I want to watch. I got so many things I want to watch. I can't even list them all out.
I'm gonna keep watching my kimchi family restaurant because it makes me so happy. And I've made a K-drama friend, and she wants me to watch Reply 1988. And I need to watch Honeyland for you.
You do.
So I'm going to work on these things.
Yes. Excellent. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening and joining us. I'm starving, so it's lunchtime. Have a good day.
Bye.
Or evening or whatever. Bye. Bye.